Is it still a good idea to pair the RTX 4070 Super with a 4K monitor in the fourth quarter of 2024? Or are the latest AAA games too much for the 4070 Super to handle at such a high resolution? Let's find out. I'm using the MSI Ventus 2X RTX 4070 Super paired with the i7-14700KF CPU as part of the pre-built CyberPower PC powered by MSI. If you're interested in any of the products featured in this video, you can find them at the links in the description below. There is no need to spend that much money on Windows 11 Pro when you can get it much cheaper at cdkeyoffer.com. Additionally, use discount code iVadim to get 25% off and bring the total price down to $22. Furthermore, you can find Windows 10 Pro as well as Microsoft Office at much cheaper prices as well. Get yours now at the link in the description below, and don't forget to use discount code iVadim to get 25% off. Let's start with the most recently released game, God of War Ragnarok. We are at native 4K resolution using DLAA, and graphics preset is set to Ultra, which is the highest available option. Surprisingly, even at native 4K resolution, we are still getting above 60 FPS with drops to around 60, 61 in some scenes. But that means that there might be some worst case scenarios where FPS will struggle to stay at 60. I haven't played this game enough to know for sure, but it's actually a good thing that the game runs so well at native resolution, because that actually gives us some wiggle room to improve performance if we do run into, more graphically demanding scenes. And of course, what we always like to see is frame time as well as frame rate graphs are absolutely flat. That means that our gameplay is nice and smooth. Let's see how the game performs with DLSS enabled. Let's select Quality mode. Oh, and right away, above 100 FPS, with drops to around 90-ish from time to time, which actually gives us an opportunity to lock FPS at 90 and enjoy the game like that. I've played this game with DLSS enabled for about half an hour, and I didn't spot any major visual issues. And since DLSS quality looks just as good as native, there's just no reason not to use it in this particular case, because 90 plus FPS experience is noticeably smoother compared to 60 FPS. But what about DLSS balanced mode? What can we expect from that? And we did get another boost of performance, putting us at above 120 FPS in some scenes that are not as graphically demanding, and around 100-ish FPS in other scenes that are more graphically demanding with more assets on the screen. Oh, and look at that, drops below 100 FPS are still possible even with DLSS set to balanced. Let's see if we can achieve a consistent 120 FPS experience by selecting DLSS performance. And that's a no. We're still getting dips below 120 from time to time. Our GPU is still fully loaded, which is a good thing. Means that we're getting every bit of performance available, even when using DLSS set to performance. So this is effectively 1080p upscaled to 4K. I wonder, what will happen if I lock FPS at 120? Let's see, maybe we need to lock the FPS and then we can have that smooth experience consistently. Let's see, because we did have some dips below. Oh no, yeah, we still can get dips below 120. Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot have that 120 FPS experience consistently at all times. However, this is still a nice experience. I would not mind playing this game like so, because 120 FPS is very fast. I mean, the image fluidity is just amazing. But because we are using DLSS set to performance, the image is not as crisp. So I actually prefer using DLSS set to balanced for better image quality, because that still delivers above 100 FPS experience in most scenes. And this is very nice indeed. And if I wanted to conserve energy, then I would just lock that FPS at 90, and there we go. Now, frame rate and frame time graphs are absolutely flat, and our GPU power usage is lower, CPU power usage is lower. Current GPU load is 75%, and there's our power usage, 160 watts on the GPU and between 60 to 80 watts on the CPU. Oh, going up to 90 from time to time. Oh, 97. I think this is the way to go. Next up is Space Marine 2. Let's start with checking out native 4K resolution performance using maximum graphics quality preset. Everything is maxed out, including cloth simulation. And right away, we are not getting proper 60 plus FPS, but still, the game runs at above 40 FPS. Not too bad. That makes me hopeful that we can achieve a good 60 plus FPS experience using DLSS. Let's try DLSS quality first. This is 1440p upscaled to 4K, and right away we can see that we are getting well above 60 FPS. Above 70 even. Nice. Yeah, even during combat, FPS stays above 60. 69, nice. Good stuff. Basically, you don't need to improve performance anymore, but if we do run into any kind of worst case scenarios that will put us below 60 FPS, then we still have plenty of room to improve performance using DLSS, because currently we are on quality. It's not a problem, we can select balanced, improve performance, and image quality will still stay good, and we'll get more FPS for those difficult to render scenes. Oh, dying. I'm dying. Oh my god. There's too many enemies. Oh, let's finish this one. Execution. Oh, 60 FPS, 59. So you see, yeah, we definitely need to keep DLSS on balanced, because, oh my god, look at this. I've seen FPS drop below 60. Now I just have to check. If I set resolution upscaling back to quality mode, will it mean that FPS will drop below 60 more often? Here is a small horde, and it appears that performance is still fine. Oh, there we go. 58, 57. Yeah, we're still getting pretty good performance, so I'm thinking like there's gotta be something else behind those FPS drops. Could it be optimization problems? Very much possible. So probably there's still a lot of work for the game developers to do in terms of optimization. Have a look at that. That's a lot of enemies, and we're still getting above 50 FPS, even on DLSS quality. I would say that this is perfectly fine to run the game using DLSS quality. However, if you want higher FPS in more scenes, then just select balanced. Previous two games were pretty easy for this GPU to run. Now it's time to step it up a notch and check out Black Myth Wukong, which is extremely GPU demanding. This game is built in Unreal Engine 5, and let's check out 4K resolution, native, no full ray tracing, and graphics preset set to very high. That is not the highest quality preset, the highest one is cinematic, But on this kind of GPU, it doesn't really make sense to use cinematic. If it will handle very high, it is more than I can ask of it, because if you want to play on cinematic, you definitely need the RTX 4090. And at native resolution, we're getting close to 30 FPS. This is not ideal, so we'll definitely have to adjust some of those settings. Let's see if we can get to 60 plus FPS on very high preset using DLSS resolution upscaling. Let's set it to 67%, which is equal to DLSS quality mode. And this is better. Now we're getting 40 plus FPS into 50s, but this is not what we're looking for. So let's adjust it further. DLSS balanced mode starts at 58%, so let's set that. And now we're getting close to 50 FPS and even 60 FPS in some less demanding scenes. Let's actually check out if this is going to be something that is worth running with. Let's see, 49, 48 FPS. Oh. Let's go. Yeah, while this is very much playable, I still want to see above 60 FPS ideally. Let's continue using resolution upscaling. We'll set it to 50%, which is DLSS performance mode. And we're still not getting that consistent 60 plus FPS. And of course, when we're looking at finer details like fur as well as grass, it doesn't look as nice as it did on DLSS balanced or quality. So I don't think this is the right way to go about improving performance in this particular case. Let's revert resolution upscaling back to balanced mode and lower graphics preset to high. And this is it. Check it out. 60 plus FPS. Yes. This is what we've been looking for. The image quality looks good. Gameplay is smooth. And because we're using high graphics preset, effects as well as textures still look very presentable. Yeah, I can definitely enjoy this game like this. No issues. The game still uses below 9 GB of video memory, which means that we do have an option available to us to improve image fluidity, that is frame generation, which requires extra VRAM to run it. And we have that extra VRAM, so let's enable it, have a look at how that will change our experience. Latency is still fine because we had high base FPS to begin with. It was above 60, which is good. And we're getting quite a few extra frames. So it's not quite a 90 FPS experience, but it's still nice to have those extra frames. Although in such a fast-paced game, I still prefer using pure resolution upscaling without frame generation. Oh, and by the way, VRAM usage now is 9.5 GB. So we still have a couple of gigabytes available to us to make sure that even in worst-case scenarios, this game will run fine. Surprisingly, the RTX 4070 Super is still very viable when it comes to 4K gaming. Of course, you'll have to make some sacrifices in terms of visual fidelity when it comes to GPU-demanding games such as Wukong, but in other games like God of War Ragnarok, as well as Space Marine 2, the 4070 Super performs really well. Of course, that is all thanks to DLSS resolution upscaling, but in my opinion, that is not an issue because DLSS resolution upscaling looks very nice. In the latest games, I did not experience any serious visual issues with DLSS resolution upscaling enabled that would make me want to turn it off. I'm still very happy with this 4K gaming setup and I highly recommend it. If you are interested in any of the products featured in this video, including this PC, you can find them on Amazon at the links in the description below. Let me know in the comments what do you think about all this, and don't forget to give this video a like to reward my hard work if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more if you haven't already. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.